What's happening around the world and what's happening here at home. A very good evening to and welcome to Weekend Primetime News. I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
Five samples from the stock of chemicals discovered in mid-Denia tested positive for methamphetamine. Former SLPP local councillor Manamperige Piyal Senadira arrested. Brother of arrested Piyal Senadira Sampath Manamperi's SLPP membership suspended. Namal Rajapaksa calls for a fair investigation. Sunil Vatagala makes revelation on politicians linked to drug trafficking.
Container දෙකේ අයිතිකාරුවත් එක්ක හිටපු දේශපාලන මහත්තුරු මේ ඉන්නේ. හරි මේ කවුද? මේ කවුද මේ? මේ ඔක්කොම දේශපාලක.
4 shootings in 12 hours. Police say 3 are linked to clashes between gangs of drug traffickers. Construction of Rividanavi Solar Power Park commences under the patronage of the President.
The bodies of the victims who died when a bus plunged into a precipice near the 23rd kilometer post at Mahavangua, Ravana Alla on the Alla-Vallavaya road were brought to Tangol last night.
The bodies of the victims of the bus accident were brought to Tangol last night. The Janaza service linked to the Badula mosques voluntarily offered free transport to transfer the bodies to Tangol.
දියතලා ප්‍රදේශයේ මුස්ලිම් ප්‍රජාව අපේ සහෝදරවරු ටික අපිට කිව්වේ මොකද්ද? ඔයාලා රුපියල් 5ක් වියදම් කරන්න එපා. ඔයාලාගේ දුක අපි බෙදා ගන්නවා. අපි ඔයාලත් එක්ක ඉන්නවා. අපි ඔයාලාගේ මුතු ශරීරය ටික අපි ඔයාලාගේ ගෙවස් වලට ගිහිලා දෙනවා.
වාහන 6ක් අපි ලෑස්ති කරලා මේ ඩෙට් ටික ඒ ස්ථාන වලට ගිහින් දෙන්න නොමිලේ අපි ඒ වගේ සත්කාර කරනවා. ජාතියක් කුලයක් බේග ආගමක් අපිට අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. අපි සියලු දෙනා මිනිස්සු.
This morning, the bodies of 10 Tangol Municipal Council employees who died in the tragic accident were received and placed at the Tangol Municipal Council auditorium. Tangol town observed a somber atmosphere today following the tragic accident. Prime Minister Dr. Harni Amarasuriya also arrived to pay her respects to the deceased.
අද මුළු රටම අඬන දවසක් මෙවැනි සිද්ධීන් අපි පුන
Today is a day of mourning for the entire country. We have repeatedly said that incidents like this must not happen in our nation. Seeing the grief of these families, the pain of the children, the suffering of relatives reminds us all of our collective responsibility. These tragedies are not natural occurrences. They can be prevented. At this time, I urge everyone not only to share in this grief, but also to ensure that such incidents do not happen again. Laws can be made, but implementing them requires the cooperation of all. This is not something any one of us can do alone. Every possible step must be taken to prevent such tragedies, and I call upon everyone to support these efforts. The greatest tribute we can pay to these 15 victims who lost their lives is precisely this. I also wish to take this opportunity to thank and acknowledge our brothers and sisters who intervened immediately when this incident occurred without concern for their own safety.
Following religious proceedings, the bodies were taken to the homes of the victims. The final rites for the deceased are scheduled to take place tomorrow.
15 people injured in the bus accident which occurred on the Alla road, along with 2 others who were injured while attempting to rescue them, are still receiving treatment at the Badulla Teaching Hospital. Dr. Paritha Rajapaksa says that their condition is improving and that none of the patients are in critical condition. 17 people injured in the bus accident along with 2 others who were involved in rescuing them are currently receiving treatment. None of them are in critical condition. All major surgeries have been completed with only minor reconstructive procedures remaining, which will be carried out in the next few days. 17 patients remain hospitalized and their health is steadily improving. We can be very optimistic about the survival of all 17. A few of them may be discharged today, with some able to return home later in the day.
Meanwhile, the remains of the bus involved in the accident was recovered last night. This evening, officials from the National Transport Medical Institute visited the accident site to inspect parts of the bus that had been held at the Alla police station. The remains of the bus will be examined by a government analyst the day after tomorrow. Officials from the Department of Motor Traffic are scheduled to inspect the bus parts on Monday. Alla town has flown white flags since yesterday to mourn those who lost their lives in the accident.
In more news, police media spokesperson, Assistant Superintendent of Police F.U. Wootler stated that out of 20 samples taken from 2 containers discovered buried in a house in the Thalava Middenia area, 5 tested positive for ice, also known as crystal methamphetamine. The spokesperson emphasized that the police had successfully thwarted a major attempt to manufacture ice within Sri Lanka. At a private premises in Thalava of Middenia Police Division, approximately 42,000 kilograms of raw materials and chemical substances used for the production of ice drugs have now been seized by the Sri Lanka Police. Under a court order obtained from the Valasmulla High Court, the Government Chemical Laboratory Department and the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board, with a team of specialists, are currently analysing the seized substances. At this stage, tests conducted on samples taken from 2 containers have confirmed that 20 to 25 samples contain ice, also known as methamphetamine. This is a drug that is usually imported from foreign countries. However, on this occasion, a significant attempt was made to produce it locally in Sri Lanka, which the Sri Lanka police have successfully foiled. We are very pleased to report this. Using modern technology, we will be able to present a professional expert opinion on the content of the seized substances in the coming days and share this information with the public. Behind all these successful operations is the support of the public. We therefore extend our sincere gratitude to them and request that they continue to cooperate with the Sri Lanka police in tackling such major illegal and antisocial activities as well as other unlawful acts in the future.
The police spokesman was inquired on whether there is any connection between the 323 controversial containers brought into the country and the 2 containers linked to the ice drug raid in Middenia.
There was some public discourse regarding the release of 323 containers in 2025. However, these containers are not connected to the 2 containers in question. We verified this by checking the container numbers. The reason is that a special investigation was conducted by the Criminal Investigation Department concerning 23 of those containers. The numbers associated with that investigation pertain to 2 entirely different containers. Therefore, the 323 containers have no connection whatsoever with these 2 containers. The brother of former Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Pradeshiya Sabha member Sampath Manamperi has been arrested in connection with a stock of chemicals allegedly intended for the production of crystal methamphetamine or ice discovered in Middenia.
38-year-old Vijay Vikrama Manamperige Piyal Senadira has been arrested in connection with a stock of chemicals suspected to be used in the production of crystal methamphetamine or ice discovered in mid-Denia. He had contested the 2018 local government election from the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and also served as a member of the Angunakula Palassa Pradeshiya Sabha. Based on information revealed during the interrogation of Bako Saman, an organised criminal currently in the custody of the Colombo North Crimes Division, police yesterday discovered a large stock of chemicals suspected to be used in the production of crystal methamphetamine or ice hidden on land belonging to an individual named Sampath Manamperi in Mid-Denia. Sampath Manamperi is the brother of Vijay Vikrama Manamperige Piyal Senadira, who was arrested today. Sampath Manamperi had also contested at a local government election representing the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Police say the chemicals were found following interrogations of Bako Saman, who was arrested recently in Indonesia. Investigations further revealed that Sampath Manamperi had maintained close ties with Bako Saman for a long time and had left the area soon after Bako Saman and his associates were brought back to Sri Lanka following their arrest in Indonesia. The chemical stock was subjected to examination today by officials of the Government Analysts Department. The raid was carried out yesterday by a team led by Chief Inspector Linton Silva of the Colombo North Crimes Division with the participation of the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board, which also conducted on-site inspections. Authorities observed that 2 containers suspected to have been used to import the chemicals into Sri Lanka were also found on the same premises. Meanwhile, another stock of similar chemicals was discovered at a nearby cemetery.
Meanwhile, General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Sagara Karyavasam, in a statement confirmed that former SLPP Pradeshiya Sabha member Sampath Manamperi's party membership has been suspended. The undated statement was released to the media today. Excerpt.
A charge has been brought against Sampath Manamperi, a resident of Talava Angunakula Palassa and a member of our party, in connection with the possession of raw materials used for the production of narcotics. Our party will never adopt lenient policies towards individuals facing such allegations, and accordingly, his party membership has been suspended with immediate effect. However, the charge against him is a very serious one, and as a party, we expect the relevant investigations to be concluded swiftly and the true facts to be revealed to the public.
End of excerpt. National organizer of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Namal Rajapaksa, shared these views during a media briefing.
We are asking the government to conduct an impartial and fair investigation into this incident. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has already banned his party membership. We need to ask the government if they released the containers without obeying the law, or if both parties simply released the containers and are now trying to put the blame on someone else.
වෙනත් කෙනෙක්ගේ ඇඟේ මේක ගහන්න ලෑස්ති වෙනවද කියන ප්‍රශ්නය අහන්න වෙනවා.
ඔය කියන മന്ത്രിවරු මේ ළඟ මැතිවරණයට ඉදිරිපත් වෙච්ච අයද නැත්නම් කොයි කාලේ වගේ ඉදිරිපත් වෙච්ච අයද?
මන්ත්‍රීවරයා මම හිතන්නේ 2018 ඉදිරිපත් වෙච්ච කෙනෙක්. කෙනෙක් 2000 මේ පහුගිය ප්‍රාදේශ සභා මැතිවරණ ඉදිරිපත් වෙච්ච කෙනෙක්.
ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් කොහොම හරි කොනක කේල් බද්දර පත්මේ ගෑවුණා ඔබතුමාලගේ ඇඟේ.
කොනක ගෑවුණාද ආණ්ඩුව නාගත්තද කියන එක.
If the investigations are done in a proper manner, we will see if there was any involvement. We want to tell the government that there is no blood on our hands. We are challenging the government as well and demanding them to prove if we do have otherwise. We have not interfered in unjust activities. We will not interfere in illegal activities. Therefore, we tell the government that we are not liars. Please conduct a fair investigation. Dear Minister, you can show my pictures and make a story out of it. But then, when your press conference ends, 4 people have been shot, and that is also been accused if it was done by the port tour. So you can't just accuse us to cover up your incompetence.
තේන්ද ඔබතුමාලගේ නොහැකියාවයි බැරිකමයි වහගන්න අපිට චෝදනා කළා හරියන්නේ නැහැ.
ඔබතුමා දැනුවත් පරිදි මේ රසායන ද්‍රව්‍ය මේ මීට කලින් ලංකාවට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා කියලා වාර්තා වෙනද මොකක් හරි එහෙම තහනම් එකක්ද මොකද්ද දැනුවත් පරිදි කොහොමද තත්ත්වය?
මම දැන් ඒ පිළිබඳව ඔය මාධ්‍ය සාකච්ඡා තියෙන කිසිම කෙනෙක් දන්නේ නැහැ.
I don't think anyone who is at those press conferences knows about it. If a container that arrived in January was seized in September still had these chemicals inside that container, that is also a problem. The question is whether the government and the police, along with these organized criminals, sent these to certain places to seize other goods because it has been 7 months.
වෙනත් භාණ්ඩයක් අල්ලලා දුන්නද කියන ප්‍රශ්නෙත් තියෙනවා. මොකද මාස 7ක්.
සමහරවිට ඔබතුමා අර කිව්වේ මොකද්ද මාරු කරා කියන කතාව ආණ්ඩුව මාරු කරා කියන කතාව මොකද ඒකේ පැහැදිලි නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ
දැන් ඔය කියන කන්ටේනර් වල ආවා කියන දේවල් තියෙනවනේ.
Now there are chemicals that are said to have come in these containers, and I have doubts if it is the same thing that are in those containers now, since it has been 9 months and the police could intervene and change these things inside the container. Therefore, I tell our government that if these investigations are done properly, the president can also know how the people he has appointed have behaved in the past.
කොහොමද පහුගිය කාලේ හැසිරලා තියෙන්නේ?
ඔබතුමාට ඍජුව කියන්න පුළුවන්ද මේ චෝදනා ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරනවා කියලා?
100,000ක් මේ චෝදනා අපි ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරනවා.
I reject these allegations 1000%. I'm making this statement with responsibility. If the government thinks that they can blame the Rajapaksas for the Easter Sunday attack and give higher positions to those who shirked responsibilities, they are wrong. And we will not allow such accusations to be made against the Rajapaksas. We will continue to push the government to find the perpetrators of this.
මේක හොයනකම් අපි ආණ්ඩුව පස්සේ එළවනවා.
Meanwhile, Deputy Minister of Public Security and Parliamentary Affairs, Attorney Sunil Watagala, said that politicians involved in drug trafficking are gradually being exposed.
මේ මත්ද්‍රව්‍ය වලට අදාළව කෙටියෙන් කියනවා නම් කාරණා දෙකයි තියෙන්නේ.
There are essentially 2 points to consider regarding narcotics. First, we need to dismantle the supply chain. The government has been focused on breaking down this supply chain. At the same time, we are working to reduce the demand. To lower demand, we conduct operations at special locations connected to the narcotics department and rehabilitation centers to trace the groups involved. The politicians were behind this business. Initially, this network was nourished from the parliament. It was the parliament that provided support. However, for the past 10 months, that support has ceased. The owners of these 2 containers include former political figures. Who are they? These are all politicians. If these chemicals had been released into the community, the impact would have not been limited to Homagama. It could have affected the entire country. But it's clear from these photos who was involved. Who are these individuals? One is a well-known figure who has previously forced buses off the road. He was directly behind the narcotics supply chain. That is why the investigation is ongoing. This investigation is being conducted impartially without regard to rank. When we began this investigation, some senior figures went abroad to pursue postgraduate studies. Some reportedly went overseas citing health reasons, disappearing from the country. Many such actions could take place. Therefore, we are tracing all aspects of the supply chain from beginning to end. Through this process, it has become clear who was behind this business. In previous periods, when the president of the country took steps to arrest individuals involved in narcotics operations, some containers were stopped by former prime ministers who instructed the criminal investigation department not to examine them. They pretend to be good citizens when that is not the case. We are taking steps to bring about proper accountability.
තම් පරිවර්තනයක් කරගෙන යනවා.
In the past 12 hours, 4 separate shootings occurred, leaving 1 person dead and another injured. The incidents were reported from Kuttiduwa in Negombo, Pamanugama in Alubomulla, Grand Pass Mahavatta and Panchikavatta in Maratana. Police apprehended suspects in multiple related incidents within 24 hours of the shootings.
At about 11:30 p.m. yesterday, a shooting took place near the clock tower in Mahavatta Grand Pass. The shots were fired by 2 unidentified individuals who arrived on a motorcycle. The shooting claimed the life of a 26-year-old man from Kalaniya. The gunfire was reportedly from a revolver, and police suspect that the incident was the result of a clash between the 2 drug trafficking groups.
Grand Pass ප්‍රදේශයේදී අවිය වෙඩික්කරුවෙත බාර දුන් පුද්ගලයා බුද්ධි මෙහෙයුමක් කරහා අපි වෙලෙම අත්අඩංගුවට ගැනීමට කටයුතු කළා. දැන් විදුලි විමර්ශන කරගෙන යනවා.
Meanwhile, approximately 2 hours after the shooting incident in Grand Pass Mahavatta, another shooting was reported in Panchikavatta, Maradana. According to police reports, the incident occurred around 1:30 a.m. when two individuals on a motorcycle opened fire using a revolver. The target of the attack was a resident of Panchagavatta. One individual, identified as 44-year-old Sendil Mohan, was injured in the shooting. Police further stated that he is a known figure involved in drug trafficking.
ඒ අවස්ථාවේදී පසුපස හඹා ගොස් බ්ලූ මැන්ඩල් ප්‍රදේශයේදී අත්අඩංගුවට ගැනීමට හැකි වුණ පැදිකරු ඒ වන විට වෙලික්කරු මගදී බැහැලා තිබුණා. නමුත් ඔහු හඳුනාගෙන තියෙනවා. ඒ විමර්ශන සාර්ථකවම සිද්ධ වෙනවා.
At approximately 9:30 am today, another shooting took place on Tissamawatha in Pamanugama, Alubumulla in Panadura. The shots were fired at a retail shop. Police said they recovered 7 spent 9mm shell casings at the scene. Authorities also recovered a threatening note at the scene, reportedly left by the gunmen. Police confirmed that this shooting is believed to be the result of a clash between organized criminal groups.
It has been confirmed that this act was carried out to instill fear. The operation was reportedly coordinated from abroad. One son of a person involved with the gang is currently overseas. He has a warrant for a narcotics-related case in court. This incident is directly linked to that ongoing matter.
Newsfirst with the people.
Deputy General Secretary of the Samagi Jana Balawege parliamentarian Mujibur Rahman says that the party intends to actively participate in political activities in the upcoming elections as part of an alliance with the United National Party. He further confirmed that the alliance will be led by Sajith Premadasa.
எதிர்காலத்தில் இந்த பேச்சுவார்த்தையின் அடிப்படையிலே ஐக்கிய தேசிய கட்சியும் ஐக்கிய மக்கள் சக்தியும் இணைவதற்கான வாய்ப்புகள் இருப்பதாக நீங்கள் நினைக்கின்றீர்களா?
நான் நினைக்கிறேன், நான் சொன்னது போல கடந்த பாராளுமன்ற தேர்தலுக்கு பிறகு இரண்டு கட்சியும் ஒன்று சேர்ந்து வேலை செய்ய வேணும் என்று அந்த முடிவிலே தான் இருந்தார்கள். எனவே நான் நினைக்கிறேன் இப்போது அதுக்கு தேவையான அரசியல் சூழ்நிலை இப்போது உருவாகி இருக்கிறது. நானும் நம்புகிறேன் எதிர்காலத்தில் ரெண்டு கட்சியும் ஒரு அரசியல் ஒரு அலையன்ஸ்ல எல்லாரும் வேலை செய்வாங்க.
அவ்வாறாக இருந்தால் தலைவர் சஜித் பிரேமதாசவா ரணில் விக்ரமசிங்க மீண்டும் சஜித் பிரேமதாசவுக்கு பிரதி தலைவர் பதவி வைக்க வேண்டி ஏற்படுமா?
இல்ல, இப்ப அது அரசியல் நாங்கள் ஐக்கிய தேசிய கட்சிக்கு எல்லாரும் பேத்து நாங்கள் சேர்ந்தா தானே அந்த பிரச்சனை வாரது. ரெண்டு கட்சியும் சேர்ந்து ஒரு அரசியல் முன்னணியை உருவாக்கி வேலை செய்வார்களான்னு தான் எதிர்காலத்தில் நாங்கள் பார்க்க வேண்டும்.
அப்படியாக இருந்தால் தலைவர் யார்?
சஜித் பிரேமதாஸ் தலைவராக இருப்பார். இப்போது அவர் எதிர்கட்சி தலைவராக இருக்கிறார் தாங்க. நான் நினைக்கிறேன் அநேகமாக ரணில் விக்ரமசிங்க அவர்களும் சஜித் பிரேமதாஸ் அவர்களுக்கு ஆதரவாக இருப்பார்.
President Anura Kumar Dissanayake emphasized that it is the responsibility of government officials in each district to ensure that development projects are implemented without delays and that the intended benefits reach the public within the stipulated time frame. The President made these remarks today during a special district coordination committee meeting at the Monragal District Secretariat.
During the meeting, a review was conducted on the progress of development projects implemented in Monaragala district in 2025 by various ministries, departments and institutions, as well as an assessment of future development needs.
At present, I believe that the treasury payout of the allocated funds has not been delayed. The authorities have consistently instructed you to commence work as soon as possible as the necessary funds are readily available. Typically, even if a project is included in the budget report, it takes some time for the funds to reach the district. However, this is not the case now. We are capable of releasing the funds within a week of the request. Therefore, there should be no delay in initiating projects. Looking ahead to next year, there should be no concerns regarding the budget report. Once the project is approved, you can proceed with work immediately as the required funds will be disbursed directly from the budget. We are making every effort to ensure that by January and February, work can commence using the allocated resources. The economy and the Treasury's revenue have both improved and we have managed expenditures efficiently. Initially, we expected a 2 to 3% surplus from the primary account, with the anticipated figure being 2 to 3.5%. However, we have managed to achieve a higher surplus. This improvement enables us to increase revenue and control expenses more effectively, ensuring that the resulting benefits are directed straight into the villages. Delaying projects will have a serious impact. It will diminish the value of the money already spent and may require additional expenditures in the long run. Therefore, it is imperative to complete projects within the allocated time frame, commencing work immediately upon receiving the funds at the district level.
ඒ කාලය ඇතුළත ඒ ව්‍යාපෘති අවසන් කර ගැනීම පිළිබඳව මම හිතන්නේ ඔබතුමාලා අතේ තමයි කාර්යභාරය තියෙන්නේ.
Construction activities on the Siambalandu Rividanavi Solar Park, the largest renewable energy project currently underway in the country, officially commenced this morning. It was held under the patronage of President Anurakumar Dissanayake. A capacity of 100 megawatts will be added to the national power grid through this project. The total investment amounts to $140 million. The project is being implemented by Rividanavi Private Limited, a joint venture between Lakdanavi Limited and Windforce PLC. Completion is scheduled for the first quarter of 2027. Once operational, the project is expected to save the country approximately 21 billion rupees in foreign exchange annually.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability. A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, 10.25% for 15 months, 11% for 24 months. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Asia Cup 2025, 3 days more.
A trusted place for your fixed deposits. Valuable FD, 10.25% for 15 months, 11% for 24 months. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Welcome back to the news. Continuing with more local news, businessman Dudley Sirasa emphasized the importance of everyone abiding by the law during a business meeting held in Hingurakoda.
They have the making a
We hear it every morning and evening in the news, on social media and across both print and electronic media. Claims that the government will collapse in December or in April. I've heard these kinds of stories many times. What's amusing is that whenever they meet me, they ask what's happening now, and what they mean is the day that the government will collapse. I'm not being biased. We must unite and face these challenges together. That's why I believe we must work in cooperation with the government. Now, when I say this, some people will claim that it's because of the fence at my Sudu Araliya hotel. They will say it has to be removed, and if it truly cannot stay, then go ahead and remove it. We all must abide by the law. Yes, it's true. There's an illegal portion of land. But if the law is being applied selectively only to me, then of course I'll have to question that. But that doesn't mean I will justify any wrongdoing on my part. Now people are praising the government and saying the fence must come down. I have no issue with that. I will have it removed. It's not a problem. There are wedding bookings lined up for nearly a year. I have already made plans to demolish the old hotel and construct a brand new one. If there are any mistakes in the construction, any issues with the building, I am ready to correct them. I will demolish what needs to be demolished and rebuild it properly. That's what is necessary. We must be mindful of the path this country is on. So when people ask me what will happen next, especially in the context of social development and the economy, this is the answer I give. The government, under the leadership of the current president, who also serves as the Minister of Finance, has set a revenue target of 4,579 billion rupees for the Inland Revenue Department, covering from January 1st to 31st December 2025. This total includes income from excise duties and customs. It is my responsibility to share with you how this journey is progressing. Let me be clear. I am not here to promote the government. I am here to speak the truth. According to the Inland Revenue Department's tax collection model, 40% of this 4,579 billion rupees should ideally be collected during the first 6 months from January to June. The remaining 60% is expected to be collected in the second half of the year. Now let's look at the numbers. As of end June this year, the government has already collected 2,539 billion rupees in revenue. To To put that in perspective, during the same period last year, 2024, the revenue was approximately 1,947 billion rupees. That's an increase of about 559 billion rupees. This shows significant progress. This target will definitely be exceeded. The program is being carried out as intended. It is through your initiatives, your programs operating within this country that such income growth is truly possible. A group of activists from the Golf's Aragalaya convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
The Aragalaya activists shared their views on the opposition's political activities while outlining the current political situation.
විපක්ෂය මේ වෙලාවේ සන්දානගත වී හොරුන් දූෂිත පාලකයන් එක්කොඩකට එකතු වී රජය ක්‍රියා කරන්නේ කුමන ආකාරයෙන්ද කියලා අපි දැන් විමර්ශනයක නිරත වෙමින් සිටිනවා. අධිකරණ ඉස්සරහා විවිධ පිරිස් රැස් වෙලා කිසිම හිරිකිතයක් නැතුව කාන්තාවන්ට හූ කියනවා. මේ රනිල්ගේ නඩය. එතකොට දැන් මේ අධිකරණ භූමිය අපි ඒ කාලේ අපිත් ගියා අරගල වලට ගිය වෙලාවේ අපි අධිකරණ භූමියේදී අපි බොහොම නිහඬව හිටියා. පිට හිටියත් එහෙමයි. දැන් අද හූ කියන නරිරලක් වෙලා තියෙනවා විපක්ෂයේ.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්මයා ওই පාඩම ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ කියන එක අපේ අදහස. මොකද අරගලේ නිමාවටපත් වෙලා ඊට පස්සේ ගත වෙච්ච කෙටි කාලය ඇතුළත ඔහු බලය තහවුරු කර ගැනීමට දරන උත්සාහයේදී හෙලිකොප්ටර් අර ගෝල්පේස් පිටිය පහළටම පාත් කරලා දාපු සංදර්ශනය අපිට හොඳට මතකයි. මම කියන්නේ එතනින් පස්සේ අඩු ගානේ අරගල කරුව මොකක්ද ඉල්ලුවේ මේ රටේ වෙන්න තියෙන ක්‍රමවේදයේ වෙනස මොකද්ද විය යුත්තේ මේ ගැන සාකච්ඡාවක් කරන්න සූදානම්ව තිබ්බේ නැහැ. ඔහුගේ ඉත්තෝ කීප දෙනෙක් දාගෙන හිටියා. ඒගොල්ලෝ ගෙනල්ලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට තනතුරු දීගෙන එයාලගේ නාඩගම් ටික නැටුවා. ඒක නිසා මම රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්මයාට ඕක හොඳ පාඩමක් අඩුම තරමින් ඔතනින් අනිත් මිනිස්සු හරි ඉගෙන ගන්නවා නම් ඒක ඉතාල වැදගත් දෙයක් කියන එකයි මට කියන්න.
Elon Musk, already the world's richest person, could become the first trillionaire after Tesla board unveiled a massive new pay package for its CEO to keep his focus on the troubled EV maker.
Tesla boss Elon Musk will receive a pay package worth over $1 trillion if he hits a list of ambitious targets over the next decade. The package would grant him additional shares of Tesla stock if the company is able to grow far beyond its current value, with a market capitalization far greater than any company has ever approached. Musk's previous pay package, which added significantly to his massive wealth, also laid out ambitious growth plans that once appeared to be a reach, but which Tesla proved able to reach easily. The new pay package could grant Musk 423.7 million additional shares of Tesla stock. Those shares would be worth over $143.5 billion at today's stock value. But Musk would get those shares only if the values of Tesla stock increases significantly in the coming years. The company stock would need to reach an overall value of $8.5 trillion for Musk to get all the shares significantly above the current market capitalization of $1.1 trillion. If Tesla shares are able to reach the $8.5 billion market capitalization value, it could become the most valuable company ever.
US President Donald Trump signed an order yesterday rebranding the Department of Defense as the Department of War, saying it sent a message of victory to the rest of the world.
US President Donald Trump said the current name has been in place for more than 70 years. He said, quote, "I think it sends a message of victory. It's a much more appropriate name in light of where the world is right now." End quote. The department will initially use the new name as a secondary title while the administration seeks congressional approval to make the change permanent. The White House is yet to say how much a rebrand would cost, but US media expect $1 billion price tag for the overhaul of hundreds of agencies, emblems, email addresses and uniforms. The Department of Defense, which oversees the US Armed Services, is the successor to the War Department, which was first established as a cabinet-level agency in 1789 and existed until 1947. The order says Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth will be known as Secretary of War. It instructs him to recommend and include legislative and executive actions to move towards a permanent renaming of the department. Speaking during the signing, he said that, quote, "This name change is not just about renaming, it's about restoring," end quote.
Sri Lanka endured a day to forget in the second T20 international against Zimbabwe at Harare, being bowled out for just 80 runs as the hosts chased down the target comfortably in just 14.2 overs to seal an 8-wicket victory.
After being put to bat first, Sri Lanka suffered a disastrous batting collapse in the second T20 international against Zimbabwe, being bowled out for just 80 runs in 17.4 overs, their second lowest total in T20 internationals. Zimbabwe captain Sirasa starred with the ball, taking 3 wickets for just 11 runs in his 4 overs, while Blessing Musarubani and Luke Jongwe Evans dominated the power play, leaving Sri Lanka's batting lineup in disarray. Only 3 Sri Lankan batters reached double figures. Kamil Mishra top scored with 20, skipper Charita Salanka made 18 and Dasun Shanaka added 15. In reply, Zimbabwe initially struggled against the pace of Dushmantha Chamira, losing quick wickets and failing to accelerate. However, with the target being modest, the hosts steadied the innings. Ryan Burl scored 20 and Tashinga Musakiwa contributed 21 to guide Zimbabwe to 84 for 5 in 14.2 overs, sealing a comfortable 8-wicket victory. The 3-match T20 series is now level at 1-1, with the decider scheduled for tomorrow.
Moving on to rugby, Royal College Colombo has reclaimed the Bradby Shield for the 37th time after defeating Trinity College Kandy in their 79th encounter. The annual Bradby Shield encounter played between Royal College Colombo and Trinity College Kandy is contested over 2 stages, with the trophy awarded to the team that scores the most points across both matches. Royal College started strong, winning the first stage in Kandy by 15-5. The second stage took place today at the Royal College Sports Complex in Colombo. It was a closely contested match from the outset, with Trinity College taking an early lead of 5-0 in the first half. In the second half, both teams struggled to convert several scoring opportunities, though each managed to add a penalty kick. The second leg ended with Trinity College ahead 8-3. However, with 10-point advantage from the first leg, Royal College Colombo secured the overall victory, winning the 37th encounter 18-13. Yes 101 was official radio partner for Trinity College Kandy during this year's Bradby Shield Rugby Tournament. The city of Colombo is alive with celebration this evening as Yes 101 and Legends 966 after party is currently underway. Following the conclusion of the Bradby Shield, one of Sri Lanka's most historic rugby rivalries. For the first time, supporters of both Royal College and Trinity College have come together in a shared celebration, transforming the post-match excitement into a festive gathering on the dance floor.
The event features live performances from leading artists including Billy Fernando, 242 and the Slipping Chairs, entertaining the crowd with music and energy that reflect the city's vibrant spirit. The venue, Odessa by the Lake, was attended by fans, enjoying both the music and the sense of community this event has created. Spectators at the venue are witnessing Colombo's largest post-Bradby celebration to date, marking a memorable conclusion to the city's rugby weekend.
And with that, we wrap up news for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Do take care and good night.